Alright folks, welcome back to the MTJ Live Trades 2025 Mentorship. In this lecture, I'm gonna talk about the 11:15 to 12:10 p.m. macro, the launch macro hour. And it is pretty much the exact same trade that I shared with you guys on Monday in the first lecture of the 2025 mentorship. This is a pretty much unique model. It's not really hard and difficult to learn. And there are some important points about this model that I'm going to share with you guys in this lecture and lecture 2 that I've forgot to talk about in the lecture 1. And if you haven't seen the previous lecture, it is really stupid for you to watch this lecture now, because in the first episode I talked about the model. I talk about myself a little bit, why you should know that this model is gonna work. And if you haven't seen the first episode, you should go watch it and then come back watch this episode, because this is a series. It's a mentorship. You have to see the previous episode before you watch the next lecture. So yeah, at this point, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it and come back and watch this episode. Alright, then let's not talk more than that and go right into it. So we can see here my YouTube channel. If you go on the playlist, you can see on the top the 2025 MTG Live Trades Mentorship. And then below it are the 2025 lessons, and the last playlist are the 2025 live executions. Those are just teas of my models. On today's lecture, in this trade, I got stopped out in profit. I don't want to tease the spoiler too much of the trade, but I got out in profit. And I will share with you guys a screenshot on my post on this YouTube channel, right here on the post, that this model actually works and my analysis were right. It went right to where I thought it would go. It went even further than I thought, but unfortunately I got stopped out because my stop loss placement was not perfect. So I'm on the way to learn more about my stop loss placements. I get stopped out too early, too soon. I'm not perfect yet, so let's go right into the charts. So it is really important to remember that we have always to do the top-down analysis. In this case, the two down close candles on the left, they are a weekly bullish order block, and I marked out the consequent encouragement. And then also I mentioned it in the previous episode. The previous week was a down close week, and it has a big wick, and we have to mark out this wick with the consequent encouragement with the 1, 0, and the 50% level of it. So on the daily chart, there's not much to see. There is the daily bearish fair value gap and a lot of new week opening gaps above, and price has traded down lower to a daily bullish fair value gap to a BC. And we are gonna do our analysis on Wednesday this week, this bullish candle. This is the day that we are gonna do the trade in. So I live recorded the trade, but unfortunately I wasn't able to speak at the time because I was working. And yeah, so later on I'm gonna share with you guys the live trade, but I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna right now do the analysis with you. And the recording was unfortunately on my phone, so you have to deal with the small screen. Excuse me for that. So yeah, here on the 4-hour chart, there's not much to see. On the hourly chart, you can see that price has been pretty much messy this week. We can see this week's new opening gap. Price has been consolidating around it. It traded lower, took out the sell side liquidities, and now in this case I thought we are in a discount array, so price might or might not trade higher. So yeah. So here on the 15-minute chart, we can see Monday's trade. there is the minor sell side liquidity, and below it is the London low. And we go lower now to the 5-minute chart. So I also showed you guys this in the previous lecture. This was Monday with the minor sell side liquidity and London low. Okay, and on Tuesday there was not much to see, and on Wednesday, today's live trade that I'm going to share with you later on, we can see that there is the exact same model. The minor sell side liquidity, the London low, price has been trading below the midnight open and then eventually above it. Here I'm marking it out. This is the exact same thing. So price is trading higher, and during the opening range at 9:30, you can see that price created an initial low and an initial high, and it took out the London high. So now on the 1-minute chart, it is more clear to see that we have the London low and the London high, and price has been, I would say, trading lower during London and then trading higher and consolidating a little bit, and then during New York Open it consolidated completely, but it also took out the London high. So at the opening range at 9:30, we had again a opening range gap lower, just like the previous lecture. We have the first presented fair value gap, the 8:30 opening, that price has been trading below it, and then eventually above it. And right there we have the stop hunt, so a turtle soup, and price during 11:50 to 12:10 p.m. macro, I thought price will trade lower and do some sort of retracement or just take the minor sell side liquidity out. And I thought so because price has been trading higher above the new week opening gap, and price also gave me the setup during the macro. It created a breaker with an order block, and then before those breaker and the order blocks, before this ones, it gave me another breaker and order block. Right here we can see the first breaker and the first order block, and my entry was actually on the first bearish order block. So this way I aim for the sell side liquidity, the easiest low fruit hanging objective. And it was pretty easy to trade this one because it was the next one. So the breaker, I also see that as a breaker, a valid breaker, because it has displacement to the downside. So there's a fair value gap, a breaker, and a stop on. So all the, it's a setup, A+ setup for me. That's why I took this one. Okay, and at this point, this is the live execution. I'm still on my laptop here, but soon enough I'll go on my phone, and I'm not gonna talk during the live execution because I have a lot to do right now. I have to go, so I'm not gonna be with you guys during the live execution. But if you have any questions or anything, you can write me a comment, or you can also write me an email on my email address. I will answer all of your questions as soon as I can. I hope you guys enjoyed this lecture, this episode, and till talk to you next time, be safe.